Starting a fire is as easy as this. Putting it out is more complex. To extinguish a fire, one of three things needs to happen. You need to eliminate the fuel, what the fire burns, or make the fuel less combustible. You need to remove the oxygen that the fire needs to breathe, or you remove the fire's heat. For centuries, water has been used to extinguish fires. It both cools the fire's fuel and smothers the flame, depriving it of oxygen. But like all tools, water has its drawbacks. It evaporates easily and fails to cling well to a fire's fuel source. Fortunately, the effectiveness of water can be supplemented with chemicals. Chemicals can be used to treat fuels to make them less combustible, even after the water has evaporated and the chemical has dried. An average surface fire on the forest floor might have flames that reach 3 feet in height and temperatures close to 1500 degrees. Wildland fire chemicals can reduce this fire intensity, making it possible for firefighters to work the fire line. In short, these chemicals are used to protect life and property. It's important to remember, however, that these chemicals by themselves are not used to put out fires. Rather, they're designed to slow the fire, allowing time for ground crews to put it out. So how are these chemicals applied? By either a direct or indirect attack. In a direct attack, chemicals are applied on top of the burning fuel so that the water content can smother and cool the flames. In an indirect attack, the fire chemicals are applied ahead of the fire so that it coats the unburned fuel between the fire and the retardant line. Wildland fire chemicals fall into one of two categories. A suppressant is a chemical agent that extinguishes combustion by direct application to the burning fuel. A retardant, on the other hand, reduces the flammability of combustibles by a chemical action. Let's see some examples of each. Water, foams, and water enhancers are suppressants. A Class A foam suppressant is almost all water, 99% or more. But the chemicals that are added to that water affect how well the resulting foam clings to the fuel surfaces. They also increase the ability of the water to soak into the fuels. Foams are often used in direct attacks and for mop-up actions and pre-treating fuels for prescribed burning. Another suppressant that works well in a direct attack is a water enhancer. Water enhancers, too, are mostly composed of water, about 97%. But the water enhancer changes the physical characteristic of the water, thickening it to increase its effectiveness, enhancing its adhesion to fuels as well as decreasing drift when dropped from the air. It's also used in the protection of structures and other resources. Water enhancers and foams work well in direct attack. Retardants work best in indirect attack. Why? A long-term retardant contains fertilizers or retarding salts that alter the way a fire burns. It decreases the fire's intensity and slows its advance, even after the water it contains has evaporated. When considering effectiveness of the chemicals, you should know foams only last for a few minutes. Water enhancers generally last less than an hour, and retardants may last days to weeks. You should also know that the use of chemicals in high winds, extreme fire conditions, or high flame heights may not be effective. Retardants, for example, may not be effective when flame lengths are greater than approximately 4 feet high. The USDA and U.S. Forest Service have produced a series of videos that discuss wildland fire chemicals in more depth. We hope you'll view each one to learn more about these important topics. You can also find more details on the Wildland Fire Chemical Systems website. Here you'll find information on safety, environmental issues, product quality, mixing ratios, aerial delivery systems, and other topics related to knowing when and how to use wildland fire chemicals.